I decided to support Chick-fil-A because they said it was for Trump. And liberals were writing that we should boycott Chick-fil-A because it's anti-LGBTQ and it's also pro-Trump. So I was like, oh, it's time to get some Chick-fil-A. Yeah. So, by the way, In-N-Out, too, is a Christian company. So in case anyone's interested in that, too, I just want to put that out there also. Yeah. Okay. All right. I have a great video for you guys today. It's so good. I promise. What I do want to say in this video is, you guys, let me explain something to you. Before I start, the bulk of what this video is going to be about, I want you to understand I am not against LGBTQ. I'm not against people. I'm not against harlots. I'm not against addicts. I'm not against adulterers. I'm not against murderers. I'm not against Ted Bundy. I'm not against anybody. I am against sin. I'm also not sinless. I'm also imperfect. But I do my best. So I definitely am trying. Nobody is sinless. But the difference between me and people is that I'm not justifying sins. LGBTQ is a sin. Sin. I just wrote to LGBTQ Coptic Christians. Yeah, we have a group out. I think there's 1,000. I was going to join the group just to kind of tell them, hey, how can I come against sort of like this ideology? We need to change it. Let me try to help. The reason I didn't like their page is because I don't want people to be like, why is Sarah a fan of LGBTQ Coptic Christians? That's why we didn't like the page. But I still go on their page and I try to look at what they're writing. I posted 3 comments for them. I wonder how they're going to take it. But I'm interested because I went on there and I told them, not here to judge you, not here to this. Because there's a lot of people coming out now through Facebook talking about all of the LGBTQ people in our community, actually in the Coptic community, that are in the closet and who are dealing with a lot of psychological issues. And so they're really struggling. I have a friend named Ray Torres, and he actually, his story is actually pretty sad. But throughout his childhood, he was constantly called gay because of the way he walked, the way he talked, and he was kind of a feminine kind of guy. And he said that people just kind of called him gay. So he decided to accept that image of himself. And he, decided to act on what he was labeled. And it's actually very sad, but he was in an accident and he had a traumatic brain injury and God saved his life. And he's now a ex-LGBT Christian who actually is involved in ministry to other people who are struggling with this illness. And it was always an illness. The DSM had it in the DSM as a pervasive disorder, something like that. And they took it out. And actually, the person who actually fought to take it out, I think he's still alive. He's a psychiatrist named Dr. He's at Columbia, and his name, he just came out with another paper that I read the other day. Dr. It starts with an S. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to type up gay community. Hold on. Okay, let me write. I'm going to find out his name because you guys should all research what he's done. Gay community. Okay, hold on. Psychiatrist. Doctor. Let's see. Doctor. It starts with an S, right? He actually came out with a paper. It might just come up. He's that famous. No, this is not him. Dr. Robert Spitzer. I thought it was Dr. Spitzer. I have an optometrist named Dr. Spitzer. So There's a lot of issues here with him. Let's see. He basically said that he wrote sorry for backing the gay cure. He is under a lot of heat by the New York Times, and he basically fought to get this out. And he ended up, now in his studies, said that Dr. Spitzer deciding to drop homosexuality from its manual and replace it with his alternative sexual orientation disturbance to identify people with sexual orientation, gay or straight, caused them distress. I wouldn't say that Dr. Spitzer became a household name among the broader gay movement, but with the declassification of homosexuality, it was widely celebrated as a victory. And he was basically known as he was like a hero in the gay community. And then the study, then he said in a psychiatry meeting in 2001 before publication, immediately created a sensation. An ex-gay group seized on it as solid evidence for their case. This was Dr. Spitzer, after all, the man who single-handedly removed homosexuality from the Manual of Mental Disorders. Yeah, he took it out of the DSM. This guy. No one could accuse him of bias. I think he's a psychiatrist in Columbia, the New York State Psychiatric Institute. That's him. All right, let's keep reading. He's an interesting character because he took it out of the DSM, but at the same time, he's like, I shouldn't have done that. So let's keep reading because he's just an interesting guy. So the gay leaders accused him of betrayal. The study had some serious problems. Several colleagues tried to stop the study and urged him not to publish it. Let me keep reading, you guys. Dr. Spitzer in no way implied in the study that being gay was a choice, but he did. He actually did, but he's trying to take it back because the whole community is not okay with what he did. As I read these commentaries, I knew this was a problem, a big problem, and one I couldn't answer, Dr. Spitzer said. How do you know someone has really changed? Letting go. It took 11 years for him to admit it publicly. Let's see here. Let's see what he said here at the end. You know, it's the only regret I have, the only professional one, Dr. Spitzer said of the study. And I think in the history of psychiatry, I don't know that I've ever seen a scientist write a letter saying that the data were all there but were totally misinterpreted, who admitted that and who apologized to his readers. He tried to take it away because they weren't going to let him do it. I'm going to see if there's a more recent article that he wrote. I think he backfired again. I think he did. Oh, he died? Dr. Spitzer dies at 83. Is that? No, that's Los Angeles Times. No. Well, there's another one here. There's like a lot of them here. You guys, hold on. We're finding him. The legacy of Dr. Robert Spitzer, psychiatrist who depathologized homosexuality. Was that him? Did he die? I don't know. I really don't know. I thought I just read it. Oh, yeah. No, he must have died. He died on December 25th. Oh, he died on Christmas, 2015. Oh, and I think he died in LA. When the DSM dropped homosexuality as a disorder in 1973. Wow. And he regretted it, actually. He made a mistake. That's what happens when you have a bad psychiatrist. Well, the problem is, You guys, there is a movement. There is a movement to make these things normal. But they're not normal. Being gay, transgender, lesbian, bisexual, queer is not normal. No. No. He recalled one meeting at the APA where a psychiatrist wore a mask. He said, I have to be anonymous because if I were out as a gay man, I couldn't practice psychiatry. That was back in the day, so he had to take it out. Yeah, take it out. And now you have a lot of people who are gay men entering the field because of that. Because there's no stigma attached to the homosexuality. Before it used to be a disorder, and how could you be disordered and try to treat people with psychological disorders? But it's almost like the people who enter it because of the psychological disorders that they have. And they're trying to help themselves. So let STM help you guys. All right, here we go. You guys, sin is wrong. It's just wrong. Now, we have to look at these people as sick. They're sick. Is God going to look at them as sick? Well, you know, sin is an illness, obviously. To be a sinner is to be an illness. There are people who are addicted to, you know, prostitution. There are people who are addicted to drugs. There are people who are addicted to murder. Ted Bundy. You know, sin is sin. It's an illness, though. It's an illness. Whether you call it psychopathy, whether you call it homosexuality, whether you call it substance abuse, whether you call it, I don't know, in terms of prostitution, borderline personality disorder, whatever it is, whatever you want to call these things. Because of the psychiatrist who took it out of the DSM, it's now no longer, you know, it's no longer acceptable for people to think about it as wrong. But he regretted it. He actually said that people do have a choice for their orientation. You do. You actually do. You have a choice to be gay or straight or lesbian or bisexual. You're not born this way. You're not. You're not. I made a decision when I was a young girl that I would be heterosexual and that I would wait for marriage and I would engage in no sexual contact with anybody until marriage. I made that decision in my life because of my spiritual convictions. I also made a decision in my life that I would not commit murder. I made a decision in my life that I would not drink and get drunk. I made a decision in my life that I would not, you know, these things, that I would not date. I made decisions in my life. Now, for my friend Ray Torres, he made a decision that because everyone called him gay, that he was going to be gay. He made a decision to do that. He made a decision to be gay. He made a decision to follow into what people were telling him he was. And he identified with how society saw him. So when you are LGBTQ, and I say this with love, and I think I might send this video and post the link below, LGBT Coptic Christians, because I'm on some kind of rampage right now. I really am, because people are telling me, oh, the bishop said this, and this and this and that, and if you're a transgender, it's okay, and if you're a homosexual, it doesn't act on his feelings, it's okay, and if you're this and I don't know who's saying these crazy things, but I do know that I'm here to say, I'm sorry, let's tell you guys the truth. Okay? Don't let Satan trick you. We can love all people and we're called to as Christians, but we got to spread the truth. And as the Feast of Jonah's coming up, he didn't want to go tell the Ninevites that they were on their way to pretty much hell. He didn't want to. He's like, they're bad. I'm not gonna care. And it's easy to dismiss people who are sinners and living in sin and just say they're bad, I don't care. But actually, if you did care, you would want to tell them, hey, it's wrong. It's wrong. What you're doing is wrong. And I want you to get help. I really want you to get help. I want you to get help. I want you to find God. I want you to find God and change that lifestyle. I really do. I care. And there are many, many people in our community suffering from this. Because I was talking to a friend who's Australian, and she's a therapist, who had posted this transgender video of a 14-year-old boy who turned into a girl. He felt like he was a girl. And she was supporting it, saying, Sarah, you don't know how many Coptic Christians are dealing with these issues. And I'm like, no, I do know. But the reality is we can't say it's acceptable. We have to say it's wrong. And just like substance abuse needs to be treated, homosexuality, lesbianism, LGBTQ needs to be treated too. It needs to be treated. And even this psychiatrist, Dr. Spitzer, who took homosexuality out of and transgenderism and all these things out of the DSM, he actually said, I was wrong. I was wrong to take it out. Because it belonged there. It belonged there. It belonged there. It belongs there. It does. And it needs to be treated. And is it possible for it to be treated? Absolutely. I have a friend. I want you guys to look below. I'm going to tag him below this. I told him. I said, I'm going to use you, and you could talk to a lot of people, And you could talk to him and tell him to keep yourselves anonymous if you don't want him to, say who you are or whatever. But he lived a life as a homosexual male, and he changed. And he's actually very disturbed with the Coptic Christians who are supporting it. He doesn't understand. He's like, once you find Christ, you can't live that kind of lifestyle. You just can't. Well, it's time to change, you guys. It's time to change. It really is. It's time to change. The liberal movement is not going to allow you to do that because it's saying that you should accept everybody and everything. You love people, yes, but you cannot be somebody who stays passive as someone is overdosing on drugs or somebody is out, with their gay lover. You can't stay passive. You have to say it. I care about you enough. I care about my community enough. All 1,900 whatever members of this LGBT Coptic Christian group. I care about you enough to say, I want you to stop. I want you to get help. I really do. I want you to get help. I mean it with the bottom of my heart, you guys. I really mean it. And we have to, as a society, stop making it acceptable. Stop saying it's okay and it's normal, because it's not normal. It's pathological. It was in the DSM up until 1973, I think, is that what I read. That's not far away. It was a psychological problem that needed treatment. So why have we taken it out? Why? And now that we've taken it out, everyone thinks, oh, it's fine. I could be like this because it's not, I was born this way, but you weren't born this way. You have to make a conscious decision to say, I'm not going to be gay. I'm not going to be gay. That's it. It's that simple. I'm not going to be a lesbian. I'm not going to be a transgender. Not only that, I am waiting for marriage, and I'm waiting for a heterosexual relationship. Don't let anyone trick you into thinking that you are forced to be in a certain way. No. Maybe Satan's fighting you, saying you should be a girl. You should be this. You're da-da-da. Everyone's calling you gay, so you should be gay. Satan's fighting a lot of people. But you got to take control over that. The only reason why I'm not a lesbian, or I'm not a bisexual, or I'm not a transgender, or I'm not, is because I made a choice. I made a choice. Not because I don't have those feelings. I am sure I could have those feelings if I wanted to. I'm sure I can go get drunk if I wanted to. And feel good getting drunk. I mean, you can force yourself to do things. I'm not a smoker, but I'm sure if I smoked every week, or people told me I should smoke, and I finally was convinced I could end up being a smoker. So why am I not? It's no different. But why I'm not gay, and why I'm not this, and why I'm not that. It's no different. You have to take control over your decisions in life. And LGBTQ is not normal. I know I have fans that are LGBTQ. I know you're watching me, and you also know I'm not judgmental, because nobody has more friends that are gay, that are addicts, that are that are fornicators. Nobody has more of those friends than I do. And I've seen them in their lowest points when they were high, drunk, this, blah, blah, blah. None of them ever got rid of me as a friend. None of them ever thought I was judgmental. But I also tell them that lifestyle is taking you all the way to hell. And it's not right. And when you live in sin, you're not happy. It doesn't feel right. It feels wrong. It feels like something is wrong. So you have to do what's natural. And what the Bible says, they took what was natural and turned it into the unnatural. Even the Bible says it's disorder. It's disorder. LGBTQ is disorder. It's psychological disorder. And so we have to be active on admitting it and allowing people to get the help they need. And if there is no help out there because, they're not offering how to change from gay to straight, obviously, there's like ethical things about that now with this whole liberal movement, then seek counseling from your spiritual father and pray. And I'll pray for you too. That's all I have to say about LGBTQ. I'm going to come back with another video, but that was my LGBTQ video and on how to stay really in tune with God and in touch with God and to understand that even up until the 1970s, it was in the DSM as being an abnormality. So it is. Don't let society trick you, all right? That's another movement along with the feminism movement, is that movement to corrupt the world. The only type of happiness and love that you're going to find is going to be between a man and a woman. That's it. Not a woman and a woman, not a man and a man. The only type of sexual satisfaction you're going to feel is between a man and a woman. You're always going to feel like something's missing if you don't have that kind of relationship. So allow yourself. Allow yourself to feel that. Allow yourself to go in that direction. I love you all.